The first Greek athletes trained and competed in the nude. The Greek word gymnazo actually means to train naked. The word gymnastics also has roots in Latin. The Latin phrase gymnasticus means fond or skilled in bodily exercise. Gymnastics as a sport has been around for 2,000 years. The ancient Greeks practiced gymnastics as a way to prepare for war. Activities like running and jumping, along with throwing a discus and wrestling, were used to prepare the young Greek men. Boxing was also used, and all of these activities helped to develop the muscles needed for hand-to-hand combat. Additional fitness practices used by the ancient Greeks included methods for mounting and dismounting a horse and a variety of circus performance skills. The ancient Greeks also trained their young students in gymnastics as a part of their education. While the ancient Greeks practiced a form of gymnastics that included stretching, swimming, and running, modern gymnastics began in the late 1700s. In the late 18th and early 19th century, two pioneer physical educators, Johann Friedrich Goodsmith and Frederick Ludwig Jahn, created exercises for boys and young men on several apparatus they had designed. Frederick Jahn became known as the father of gymnastics. He designed and introduced the horizontal bar, parallel bars, balance beam, side horse with pommels, ladder, and vaulting horse. Jahn created a school to spread the word about gymnastics. Around this time, Goodsmith introduced more rhythmic gymnastics in Sweden. Dr. Dudley Allen Sargent is credited with bringing the sport to the United States around the time of the Civil War. In the early 19th century, educators began using gymnastics as a part of their training programs, and in the early 20th century, the armed services began using gymnastics and producing drill manuals featuring all kinds of gymnastics. By the end of the 19th century, men's gymnastics was popular enough to be included in the first modern Olympic Games held in 1896. However, up until 1950s, gymnastics in the Olympics included such things as synchronized team floor calisthenics, rope climbing, high jumping, running, and horizontal ladder, just to name a few. Women first started to participate in gymnastics events in the 1920s, and the first women's Olympic competition was held in the 1928 Games in Amsterdam. However, the only event to compete was synchronized calisthenics. Combined exercises for women were first held in 1928. Then, in the 1952 Olympics, the first full regime of events for women was in competition. By the 1954 Olympic Games, apparatus and events for both men and women had been standardized in modern format, and the scoring standards, including a point system from 1 to 10, were implemented. The initial point system for artistic gymnastics was based on one score, with 10 being the highest. This changed in 2006 when a two-part system of scoring was introduced. The first score is the difficulty score and is called the A score. It is based on the various elements in a routine and how hard they are to perform. The B score is the execution score and is awarded based on the performance of the skills. The B score is similar to the previous scoring method with a top score of 10. The A score is a tally of difficulty and can be changed if a gymnast leaves out a skill or doesn't properly connect two skills. The B score is where the judges determine the skill of execution and rates the performance. Modern men's gymnastics events are scored on an individual and team basis and presently include the floor exercise, horizontal bar, parallel bar, rings, pommel horse, vaulting, and the all-around, which combines the scores of the other 6 events. Women's gymnastics events include balance beam, uneven bars, combined exercises, floor exercises, vaulting, and rhythmic sportive gymnastics. Gymnastics involves the use of physical strength, flexibility, balance, control, power, agility, and coordination to perform a variety of exercises. It is one of the oldest sports in the world, and it has evolved over thousands of years to become the sport it is today. And I would like to share this photo, which is Greek gymnastics 2,000 years ago.